Who's ready for a vacation, everyone? A nice sunny vacation that I'm gonna have from the darkness of my room by myself. I'm ready to have some fun in the sun, aren't you? Having a summer vacation while it's still summer? With all these islands that look like sea creatures. I like the sea turtle one. Welcome to Isle Delfino, which looks like a dolphin, which is something that I didn't realize for many years. Maybe not many years, but at least a year. Just, it never occurred to me that the Delfino Island was shaped like a dolphin. Succulent seafood! This looks like a green screen background. It just looks too still to be real. Mario? Could that be Mario? No, he has no neck. That can't be Mario. Then again, I guess this Mario doesn't have a neck either, but he had much less of a neck. And also his legs were disproportionate. It was a very weird looking shadow. I don't know what was up with that, but... yeah. You know, I think actually that plane is backwards. I know that's a weird thing to say. Oh, yeah, that's totally a dolphin. The blowhole is even in the right place. You got the volcano where the blowhole is on a dolphin. It's clever.
Super Mario Sunshine!
Yeah, let's play some Super Mario Sunshine, everyone. My favorite Mario platformer. It's so colorful, it's underlined with a rainbow. So, let's begin. Guess I'll start a new file here. A new file in the A slot. Also, I like how if you decide to skip that intro before starting the game, this is the first thing you see. Just Mario infatuated with nothing in particular, for no reason. It's weird when games do that, whenever they have something kind of important in the intro before the actual game starts, and then whenever you start a new file, you're just kind of left without the full context.
What's this icky paint-like goop? It's moving!
It's moving! I can't do a Toad voice anymore. I could back in the day of Dante's Inferno with Mario, but it was hard to do even with that. Peach has no face.
Excuse me,
You can't explain how expressionless she is, unless you just accept that she has no face.
Concerned with the well-being of the princess in this dreadful heat. Master Mario, if you would, cross over to that shore and find some assistance.
Cross over to that shore. What do you mean by that shore? Like, is that... we're not really crossing over anywhere. This is all kind of the same place. But whatever, okay, Toadsworth. I'm thinking now, just... I want to kind of put all of you in my shoes for the first time that I ever played this game. I think that Luigi's Mansion was the first game that I played for the GameCube, whenever the GameCube was fresh and new and exciting. And I think this might have been the second. Also, this is why I think the plane was backwards. I'm pretty sure that the star was supposed to be on the left side, or the right side, in the cutscene, but it was on the left side in the cutscene. It was not important. It was just an observation that I noticed. Or an observation that I made out of something that I noticed. Never mind. I don't know how to say things. But, anyways, before the GameCube, I was very much a fan of the Nintendo 64, and playing Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie, and the collectathon genre was kind of what I accepted to be my favorite genre, and then Zelda was kind of close behind it. And, I always had sort of a partial... I was always kind of partial to Mario because Mario was a way more athletic, acrobatic character to play as. You know, Banjo's kind of boring in comparison. You just kind of... and Banjo, you run around, you jump, you hover a little bit, and that's about it. That's kind of the extent of what he does. You never see him do crazy flips and triple jumps and wall jumps and side flips and all this stuff. Like, Mario is just naturally more satisfying as a character to control, because he does more inherently by the way that you move him around. So I was really excited the first time I picked up this game to discover that all the controls were more or less the same. To discover that I was playing another game that was acrobatic with its main characters, something that I never really experienced with any other game besides Mario 64. There is a little bit of a difference, though. First of all, Mario has a spin jump, which I think is actually one of his most satisfying possible moves. And it's kind of a shame that, like, Mario Galaxy has a different spin jump that isn't as fun. It's nice and useful, I guess, but it's more generic. This is just, it's so satisfying to pull off. This game is so satisfying in general to control. I just really like it. You can't crouch, which means you can't crawl. You can't do a little break dance. You can't do that weird thing that people like to do where you press Z and press B and you like slide with your foot forward in Mario 64, a move that nobody ever uses until everyone recognized that it was never used and then everybody started using it. You can do this, though. It's the best move. But we're about to increase our moveset a little bit.
Power up complete. Thank you for purchasing this item from Gab.
Oh shoot, we didn't purchase this. I guess we're just gonna have to steal it then.
Customer information, scanning and
I like how we gotta look at Mario's crotch, and also the bottom left corner of the screen has a lot of old Mario games, older than this, which is a nice touch.
A flash liquidizer ultra dowsing device. I hope to be of assistance.
Flash liquidizer ultra dowsing device was my favorite thing to say when this game came out. I said it all the time because I was young and it made me sound smart, even though it really didn't. So as Flood is talking here about things that I already know, just thinking about Flood's voice for a moment. Just letting it play out a little bit more. Yeah, I remember back in my first Let's Play, Banjo-Kazooie, I mentioned in the Mad Monster Mansion videos, specifically, how, I was making a... Hold on, just adjusting in my chair. I was making the comparison that Mario with Flood is kind of like Banjo with Kazooie, and I was saying something to the effect of...
And in Super Mario Sunshine, you play as Mario, who runs and jumps and does all the basic work, and then Flood, on your back, who is supposedly a female robot character, I guess. She helps you to jump higher and jump further.
And somebody in the comments, I don't know who, said, wait a minute, where'd you get the idea that Flood was female? Like, Flood is a... I always thought that Flood was just a male robot. Which... I find that weird for two reasons. One, if you're going to make an argument against a robot being a certain gender, it would be that robots are robots and therefore don't have a sex. But also, I think it's weird because Flood's voice actor is a female person. Like, I don't know why... I feel bad saying female because people are offended by, like, somebody saying female when they wouldn't say male, except I always use female in a sense where I would say male if I was referring to a guy. So never mind, I opened up a can of worms there. I apologize. I don't know, just... Yeah, Flood is voiced by a girl, which... That's always what I got out of this, is... That's why Flood is a girl, is because Flood is voiced by a girl. But apparently others don't feel the same way. It's kind of like how a recent episode of Camp Camp, the Rooster Teeth show, revealed, like... Well, didn't really it didn't reveal anything. It just had Neris, one of the background characters, as a more central character. Shine Get, by the way. Except it's not Get in America. Yeah, like it had Neris as one of the more important characters for an episode, and everyone seeing more details of this character was like, wait, Neris is a girl? And it was always obvious to me. I don't know. Another crotch view. This game has a lot of crotch views. And Mario's in jail. The end. Roll credits.
Court is now in session. As you are no doubt aware, someone has been senselessly defacing fair Isle Delfino using
Well, we
some
didn't
fake
know this,
vibrations.
because we just
The
got
accused
here.
is charged with polluting our beautiful home, and yes,
Of course we would be
endangering our
accused.
very way of life. Indeed, how can one not be aware of what is going on?
How about we didn't even get to the island? You just arrested us while we were on the airstrip. Like, that should say something. Anyways.
This
This is a very unusual explanation for the shine sprites, because the idea of this game is that you collect these shine sprites to bring them to the shine gate. You never actually do that specifically, but the idea is that you get them for the purpose of them returning to the shine gate. Except there is a shine sprite in the shine gate that you get from cleaning it, and then the shine sprite pops out, and you get it, and then you put it back. Like, I don't get it.
Overruled. I judge the defendant guilty as charged. I hereby order the defendant to
And on top of that,
clear
like,
island.
the lack of shine sprites around the shine gate, is that just supposed to be, like, is it making the entire world darker, or is it just an area sort of around the island? I don't know.
This appears to be quite a predicament, Mario. Data analysis verifies that the
Yeah, so Mario has now been, given community service tasks. He has just been thrust upon with the, janitorial obligations of about 1,000 people.
Shine sprites are the source of power on Isle Delfino. They used to
I do like the shine sprite design, though. I like it better than the stars.
incident has polluted the island and most of the shine
There's just something about it that feels more important than stars.
support the peaceful life
Even though the sun is a star, technically, but
most pitiable. The only way to ensure the return of the shine sprites is to keep the island from becoming any dirtier.
yeah, that's...
Perpetrator is likely
I failed to believe that the island was pristine before we got here. Like, maybe it wasn't covered with random goop pollution, but, like, how far do we have to go in cleaning the island to satisfy their needs? Anyways, this is a weirdly dark opening. It makes it seem like this is really tense and they're going to be watching your every move, and it's like, oh man, you're under arrest. You're doing all this work because you're accused of this heinous crime, and then you actually start the game after all those cutscenes are over, and it's just happy music, bouncing around everywhere, fun times, bright happy sunshine. Well, maybe not bright happy sunshine yet, but you know, it just immediately cuts to this happy mood, and this is the way that the game mostly stays. So it's kind of a jarring opening. It's like usually the opening of a game is supposed to sort of set a mood for the rest of it. This one does not do the best job of that, but I also don't think it does... like, it doesn't hurt it at all. It's just interesting. So, here comes one of the first complaints with this game. One of the reasons that I've neglected Let's Playing this game for such a long time is because I have always wanted to Let's Play it, but I knew that if I did, I would want to get all the blue coins, because there's no way that I would just get 96 coins or shines and not get all the others. Because 96 is the number that you can get without collecting all these blue coins. The only thing about the blue coins is that they're in really random locations. And whenever you enter the levels, they have the Super Mario 64 system where there's different missions that you can enter, and sometimes the missions do different things, or at least they sometimes did different things in Mario 64. They always do something different in this game. There are always different missions every time. It's just, let's see. Yeah, is there one down here? I'm gonna check really fast. Oh, there is a life shroom, though. That's nice. Yeah, it's just... there's no guarantee that if you search an entire level, you're going to find all the blue coins, because sometimes they're in missions that you might not enter. Like, every stage has 8 missions in it. They're actually called episodes, but I figure episode is going to be too confusing of a word for a video series. But, there might be a blue coin that's only in Mission 1 and not in any of the others. So if you go in episode or Mission 6 and search the entire stage, you won't find that blue coin. And there are 30 per stage. You have to get everything, every blue coin in the game to get all the shine sprites. So, yeah, it's not really the best collectible. If there were more hints for where all the ones that were remaining were, like if there was some kind of a system that hinted towards where they were if you couldn't find them all, that would be nice. That would justify it, I guess, but as of now, there is not. I like Shadow Mario's paintbrush, and design in general. It's just Mario but blue, but like, I don't know, it looks cool. It's like when Mario is metal. So metal, yo. So meta. I really like the Shadow Mario music, too. I know it's just the underground theme, and the underground theme is the most overplayed theme in any Mario game, but it still works. Oh, that was easy. Ow, 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 ow! Not fair! Completely unfair. I don't know what this voice is. But, he just warps in place, and then heads for the square. Let's talk to Peach, make sure she's okay. She's just making these whiny motions. My goodness. Let's just watch her. She's being quite entertaining right now. Yeah, play those drums. Okay. Guess we should clean this guy. Not that he's gonna do anything if we do. Yeah. Also, something that I want to say, while we're lollygagging around, not doing anything of importance. Peach here, and Mario, and Toadsworth, like, all of them I think have the best designs, or models, of any 3D Mario game. Like, I don't think that there's a better Mario design than this. Because the one in Mario Galaxy, his hands are really huge, and it looks funky. He's a little pudgier in that one. He's a little pudgier in most of the newer ones. But this one, he looks more, like, appropriately athletic, I guess, even though he's a little bit on the tubby side still. And he just looks more like the artwork that I expect of Mario. And also he has short sleeves for this game, which is a nice touch. I don't know, I really feel like they did a great job with this specific Mario design. So on to Bianco Hills, the first level. I have a weird memory with this level. In elementary school, I was always weirdly obsessed with the idea of being as descriptive as possible with everything, and being really overly complicated. Like, I made this, or I started trying to make this unabridged encyclopedia of Philadelphia, which is of course impossible, but I tried it anyway, and of course it didn't work. I've never even been to Philadelphia, so it doesn't make any sense. The only reason I did it was because it was a level in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. And, yeah. But I remember that I tried writing a story that started out with a description of the start of this level. And that's as far as I got with it. I talked about the cobblestone path and the wet fountains and the, like, I don't know, the flowers, the grass. It was even less interesting than I just made it sound, and it didn't sound that interesting. But, I don't know, I kind of enjoyed it as a stupid memory. So hey, are you sick of this boss fight yet? Because we have it again, for the third time in this video. Oh gosh. Now, one of the complaints with this game is that it has too many recurring boss fights, and that is a fair complaint. I don't really have a problem with it, because I think the boss fights are fun enough to warrant having multiple times, and they're simple enough. Like, the ones that repeat, they're never really that complicated. And I don't know, in a way, I kind of like when games repeat the same thing over and over again with almost no change, because it's like, you grow as you play through them. You're going to be better at it the second time than you were at the first, and it gives you the sense of growth, maybe, in a way that's less artificial than, hey, you leveled up, now the enemies at the start of the game are they seem weaker to you now. I don't know. So, this is one thing that's different about this game from Mario 64. You see that shine up there? We could go and get that one right now, or we could get this one. This is number 1, that's number 2. This is the only time that you can get a later shine before the current one. This is the only time that you can skip a shine in a stage. Otherwise, you have to go through them in a completely linear order. You always have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's very unusual. Because in Mario 64, you could go to Tick-Tock Clock and get any of the 6 stars in any order. So, I don't really mind that this game is a more linear game than Mario 64. It is a little bit ungraceful, I suppose, in design, but I think it does a great job with, at least sometimes in certain levels, using its linear fashion for storytelling. It's not like strong, amazing stories full of plot twists and intrigue, but I don't know, it's nice how you get the sense of sequence for the events that happen in these stages. So, next time, I suppose we will be messing around more with Bianco Hills. I don't know what Bianco means. I remember looking that up at one point. I don't even know if it has a meaning, but there you go. See you guys then, hoping for more fun in the sun. Or at least this.